Good day, poker peeps. Sky with Smart Poker Study. So I have an Inside the Mind video for you today. We're going to go through quite a few hands of a really good session that I played, where I was up 1.5 buy-ins over across 119 hands for the entire session. We're not going through all 119, just going through the key hands. Some I won, some I lost. But in all these hands, I'm doing my best to make reads utilizing my opponent's tendencies, and then I make plays exploiting those reads. Let's roll into it. Gambate! Alrighty, very first hand of the session, 10-7 suited. Whenever I look down at a hand like this in the blinds, I think to myself, this is a good spot to call with a plan to check raise bluff, because most likely 10-7 suited, I'm not going to hit anything on the flop, right? So on the right flop, maybe a super dry flop or a flop where I have draws, some kind of equity in the hand, I can easily come in for the check raise. Now, something to notice, the HUD is up on the table, but this HUD doesn't correspond to this player. On ignition, you got to be careful. The HUD pops up early, but until you see your first hand, it won't set itself correctly. So you see this is player 2, which is actually this player over here. Player 4 with a full 2 buy-in stack is this one up here, where we haven't seen any action from him just yet. So I'm basically going to play him like any button open raiser for only 2 big blinds. Basically, this is just a steal. He's probably got a really wide range right here. So I call, and then look at that flop. Absolutely loving this. Flush draw, gut shot, 1 over card. What a great spot to check raise bluff. Now, take a look at this. He made a larger than usual bet size. It's only 3.2 big blinds, but it's 3/4 pot right here, right? Probably sending the message that he likes this board in some way. He connected with it in some way. So when I come over the top and raise, it's doing it with so much equity. I've got so much drawing equity, but I might be up against a better pocket pair, jacks or something. Who knows, right? So it's something to beware of. If I check raise and he comes back over the top, I'm probably just going to fold, depending on the size he might make it. But we make it 10, trying to hit his pain threshold right here. I can't min raise to just 6.4. It's not good enough to get him to fold. And then the ace, now if we think about it, what I said earlier was he bet 3/4 pot. He probably connected with this in some way. He does not have to have an ace. He could have any 2 cards near this. He could have a 10-7 for himself, a 9-10, a 4-5 for an open-ender, a couple of clubs, right? But he doesn't have to have an ace. So this is kind of a card that I would consider a blank, because he bet and then called a large bet, signifying he hit something here. This doesn't necessarily connect with that. So I've got a barrel, 16 into 23.3. I'm hoping this works right here. If it doesn't, I still have some outs for a club flush or a 9 for a straight. A 10 might even win, right? He might have 8-9 in call. A 10 on the river gives me a better pair than his 8s. Now in the next hand, we've got the ace-jack offsuit in the big blind. Totally fine to be 3-betting this hand, but quite often, just like that 10-7, I do like to call, and then look at that. Why bloat the pot right now? He does fold to 3-bet, so there's a good chance if I 3-bet, he would fold. But look how flop honest he is. He c-bets 0 so far, and then folds the c-bet 100% of the time. He's a flop honest player. It's so worth it to just call with a nice ace hand. And then if I don't hit an ace on the flop, the plan is to check. If he checks back because he's flop honest, I simply probe on the turn. Well, look at this flop. I'm hitting top pair, ace, jack, pretty good kicker, right? My plan right now is to check raise. In that prior hand, you see that I can check raise as a bluff. I can also do it for value with a good top pair hand. Now, he didn't bet. He's flop honest. I have to be making a value bet here. I'm not going to check and let him check behind again. Just imagine, like, there is so much on this board, so many diamond draws that I don't want him to catch a free river diamond. Straight draws, queen jack, queen 10. He could have easily open raised those pre-flop. I don't want him to catch a free straight on the river. I got a bet right now for value to charge any kind of draws. Plus, I'm getting value out of ace X or king X with like ugly kickers that he just didn't want to commit any money on the flop. So trip aces. My jack does play. This bet is just, I'm trying to get value out of a king that doesn't believe me or an ace with a weaker kicker. And shucks, he didn't give me value right there. We went to 2 tables. So at the beginning of my sessions, I often start that way, just with 1 table, making sure my reads are going well. I'm thinking through my decisions. When I feel good, 10, 15 minutes in, I'll open up another table. So now we've got 2 tables right here. And the first hand is right here, the 7-6 offsuit. Tag in player types. He's an orange, loose aggressive player, comes in. 7-6 off, it only costs 1.2. Have that plan to check raise bluff. Look, once again, he's a flop honest player. He only c-bets 33%. You saw where my mouse was going. I'm thinking about that right now. Only c-bet 1 out of 3? Yeah, let's check raise bluff. Love that play. Tiny little bet, 1/4 pot. But look at that. I made it 5.6. I really don't like that size. I want to hit my opponent's pain threshold. He only has to call 4 more big blinds to win a pot, which will be 16 after his call. So he only has to win 25% to break even in position, right? I could easily check turn and he just bets. No-brainer call. I should have made this bigger. That is my mistake. Looking back at it now, I would like to make this 8 big blinds right here to hit his pain threshold. And King Jack, I posted my first hand in the cutoff, and I'm just checking kind of to under-rep my hand. I don't know anything about these players. Let's make them think I have a 9 deuce or something. Somebody can come in and make it 4 big blinds. I have an easy call, under-repping a nice king. But right now, once again, once I check raise, I'm always planning on barreling. He could easily call, but anything that doesn't really connect with the king or the queen or any deuce 3, 4, look at that. Another 5. What a great card to be barreling on right now. Have to barrel with this one. 19 over betting right here, really giving him the incentive to fold any kind of gut shot. Ace 10, Jack 10 for an open ender that he might have. I bet you this can get a queen to fold. It's not going to get a king to fold. It's going to get a queen. And then over here with that queen jack, let's just go back, or king jack, let's just go back to it real quick. I simply bet on that flop. I was in position. It was a limped pop, gut shot, easy to take that bad boy down. And that 19, yeah, I'm getting a queen. I'm getting anything. I'm getting ace high to fold right now, which beats my 7 high, right? Now in the next hand on table 1 over here, ace jack offsuit on the button. We got an open raise. Look where my cursor goes automatically. I'm looking at his stats. I'm thinking about his player type. How often has he raised under the gun? So far, it was 0. But he's a 30-19. Just a loose, aggressive player in general. I'd rather be the one 3-betting instead of calling and then facing a 3-bet. Plus, I love bread and butter, right? Being in position as the pre-flop raiser against one other player. If I make it 9 right here, he's the most likely caller. I've got bread and butter. Yep, so I was looking at his 3-bet stat right there. If this guy calls, the plan is c-bet and then barrel. Loose aggressive players like this, especially from out of position, they can fold if they hit nothing on the flop, but they can definitely fold versus a barrel as well, a turn barrel. And then look at that. He just folded, awarded me the pot. Didn't even have to see the flop. Won 4.5 big blinds right there, or maybe 4 big blinds is the total. Next hand, we've got ace queen offsuit over here on table 2. Now you can see my cursor's going all over the place. I'm just looking at my opponents. And look, this guy's timing down. He looks like he's going to raise. So I have the time right now as he's timing down in order to think about how often he raises in early position. It was 0. But I'm thinking about all of these players. And look, he's a tag. He's a tag. I am going to 3-bet. That is the plan right now with my ace queen. Definitely good enough. And I don't know much about him, but he's most likely a tight aggressive player over just 9 hands, and he's in the steal spot. He has a 20-25% range here easily. This bet is going to take it down quite often, and because he's a tag, he's going to be out of position. He's probably folding a lot on flops or turns. Now, not a scary flop at all, but I have top pair, really good kicker. I have to come out and bet for value. There's no way I'm just going to check back and let him see anything for free on the turn. And I got a barrel once again for value. So I often barrel as a bluff, barrel for value too, right? I'm not going to check and just slow play my hand. See, one of the things, a lot of players at the micro stakes, they don't win enough with their best hands because they want to slow play and they don't want their opponent to fold. Well, here's the thing. If I check back right here, if he has a couple of hearts, he gets a free river heart. If he has queen 10, a free river king. King 10, a free river queen. I don't do that. I don't play these games. I get value while the getting's good when I have a value get in hand. Boom, took that bad boy down. All right, the next hand right here, ace jack offsuit. Same table on the button. If he comes in for a raise, I would 3-bet him. No raise, so I'm going to min open on the button. I do the same sizing in the small blind as well. My steals work about 42% of the time, so this is definitely a profitable bet. I don't need to be making it 3, 3.5. Just 2 does the trick quite often. Now, I love top pair. Good kicker once again. You can see like this session went really well, probably because I was getting smacked in the deck or in the face by the deck, right? I get top pair over and over again. I'm absolutely loving this. It makes poker more fun, but it even makes it more fun when you're betting for value and getting value from your opponents. So we have to bet this for value, 2.2, just exactly half pot right here. I'm hoping he has an ace or something. Maybe a couple of spades could give me value. But the idea here is I am going to barrel most turns. Once again, for value. Even if a king or a queen comes, I'm betting for value. Now, 6.6. So at this point, you always have to ask yourself, what's my opponent doing this with? Or ask, like, what does he want in this hand? Is he just trying to bluff me? He could be bluffing me with just a couple of spades. There's not really good straight draws. Did he call preflop with a 5-3 or deuce 3 out of the big blind? He looks tight. Probably not. Probably not. He could be raising for value with a 4. Always a possibility. That's why I just called right here. He does have 4-5, 4-6, king 4 suited, ace 4 suited as well. There are 2 of those left with all the spades and diamonds out here. So just in case he has a great hand, I'm just going to call right here, pot control. Let's see what he does on the turn. Now, if we think about my suits and the board suits, I've got a great, if he is making this pretty decent sized bet with a flush draw, I've got a nice flush blocker right here. And I have the blocker to the nut flush draw on the queens as well. I could potentially use that against him in the future, but it also means that he can't have the nut flush draw with the queen right here. If another diamond hits on the river, I might be able to use that to bluff him if I would feel that that's necessary. But I do still have top pair, really good kicker. He just called preflop, probably a pretty wide range out of the big blind. And he checked, and I think the best play is to check back. One of the things you might think to yourself, oh, my jack kicker, it beats his 10, his 9, his 7, his 6 kicker. It doesn't in this case, because if he had an ace with a 5 kicker, for example, we both have aces and 4s with a queen kicker. My jack doesn't even play right now. And I don't know that I'm getting much value out of a queen. A river to 8? Could 8-9 of spades suddenly call? That pot's already 39. I mean, do I want to try to squeak out a 1/3 pot for 13 big blinds? I don't really think so. Checking back seems like the best play right now. There's not much, like I said, that can give me value. So, king 3. He had the flush draw. All right. Oh, and then over here, top pair, decent kicker. I'm just betting for value. He's going to end up folding. So, I mean, trying to get value, win small pots here and there. Always a great thing. 9-10 suited, a tag, and who's looking lag, a new player over here. To our right, folding the 10-4. If he open raises, my plan right now is probably just a call. I don't mind a 3-bet at all. It's a decent time to do it, but I just took a look at those opponents. Before you call, you always want to see if the players yet to act are capable of 3-betting, or you want to see if they've done it in the past, if they have that tendency. Both these players, even though they look probably loose aggressive, they haven't 3-bet yet. Let's take a chance. Let's call with the suited connector in position. Try to exploit this player. Second pair. Let's continue. Backdoor straight draw as well. I mean, if he c-bets, we're probably going to continue unless he makes it too big. All right. So my initial, you saw how my cursor went to that check. My initial was, hey, I got some showdown value. Let's just check. But I prefer betting right now for value. Any kind of straight draw, open-ended or gut shot could call. Any 2 diamonds could call. The ace of diamonds could call as well. And I have second pair. One of the good things about this is I make this bet. If they fold, so be it. They fold. If anybody calls, I can barrel the turn. And it wouldn't be such a big barrel. Maybe a half pot barrel or so, maybe roughly 8 big blinds. And that'll give me the opportunity, if they check call on the turn, I can check back river and see showdown, like we did in that prior ace-jack hand. Because I have position, I can pot control. If I don't like the board, that comes out. Ooh, and now a check raise. So once again, you got to ask yourself, what's he doing this with? Already, it hit. I knew right away. Look at that size. He went from 3.8 to 14.4. This guy means business. He has a great hand at this point. I had no problem. You saw I basically auto-checked or auto-clicked fold before this guy even folded. And actually, I pulled up this hand 24 hours later in Ignition. You can download the whole card's exposed hands. So here it is, my 9-10 suited. I called the open queen 6. He check raises 2 pair, obviously, right? I knew I was beat. Easiest fold in the world for me. All right, the next hand, we have an ace 4 suited over here. Loose aggressive player. Whenever I see the ace 4, I just know automatically that this is a great 3-betting hand, given the right opponent who might open raise, especially when I'm on the button. I love 3-betting. Ace deuce 3, 4, 5 suited. Actually, all the suited aces. I love 3-betting them all, especially when I'm on the button. against the right player. And look at this. Loose aggressive folds to 3-bets over here. Loose aggressive, doesn't fold to 3-bets. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who my opponent is in this one. And if I even get the chance to 3-bet, because I might just be the open raiser, as we see, right? But I'm always thinking, because these players are loose aggressive, they had the chance to open raise. There's a good chance they were going to. I was going to 3-bet. I always start looking at their post-flop tendencies versus C-bets to start planning now before we even see the flop. Before they even open raise, I start making the plan. Oh, I see a club in the window. Wow, flush draw. Backdoor nut straight draw. Nut flush draw, I should say. Look where my cursor is right now. I'm looking at his fold to C-bet flop, fold to C-bet turn. I know I have to double barrel this player, but that is a very wet board. I made it a little bit bigger. So quite often, if I know I am going to barrel, I often go smaller, like 1/3 or 1/2 pot, and then follow it up with like a 1/2 or 2/3 pot on the turn. But that pot's already quite small. I don't mind going a little bit bigger, especially with position against a turn-honest player when I have such a commanding draw on the hand. I don't have a great made hand just yet, but I'm totally fine making this bigger. Don't want to face a check raise. I'd rather just bet big and then barrel at this point. And you could say, yeah, Sky, that's too risky betting big like that. What if he comes over the top? Well, if he comes over the top, he only had 52 big blinds behind. He might just shove and make my fold very easy because all I had was a flush draw at this point. What I have in the hand, if he didn't shove, I have the flush draw, the nut flush draw, plus I have position, plus I have the betting initiative. So much stuff going on for me. If he tries to counteract it and throw it in my face with a shove, I just get out of there. But on this one, hey, awesome. I hit my nut flush. It did pair the board. And I'm looking right now. You see where my cursor is moving back and forth among the board cards? Sure, if he has 9-10, if he has pocket 10s and he slow played a set on the flop, so be it. I'm dead. He only has 52 big blinds behind. There's no way I'm getting away from this hand, no matter what the action is. And I want to bet for value. 9, 10, queen, 3 to the straight. There's also 3 to weaker flushes. He could have a king high flush. He could have 7, 8 for an 8 high flush. I mean, queen high with his 8 and 7 playing, obviously. I just want value. He might have even got so lucky and turned to 9. 9-8 right now. And he has equity against me, but I got to get value while the getting's good. And I'm hoping that he just shoves in at this point. Jack 4 offsuit, probably not going to defend. And then this guy just starts timing down on us. Is he slow playing his hand, you think? Or is he worried about the flush and he already has a straight? Or is he worried about having a flush? Or he's worried about me having a flush and he has trip 9s. Or maybe he has just a queen. And he's counting his outs. 4 outs to hit a full house on the river. Can I do it? Can I beat his flush? That might have been what he's thinking. And I'm looking at his chip stack, and I just want him to shove those 31.2 big blinds into that 57 big blind pot. That would be a dream. And he did it. I snap called 10 jack rivered that straight. He had the jack of clubs blocker, but what a great result for me. Now over here on table 2, pocket 7s. We would probably call to set mine. Look where my cursor is right now. I'm looking at the player. I look where he's 3-bet in the past. In case he opens, I was going to call. I want to prepare for those 3-bets before I face them. And this guy's flop honest. I'm planning on C-betting no matter what right here. Against both players. An unknown and a flop honest player. Let's just make the C-bet. One of the things about this, a lot of players would just check back right here. They think, I have some showdown value. If they have flush draws, I have a 7 club blocker. I could probably get to showdown pretty cheap. And that's possible, right? But as soon as I show weakness, I was the pre-flop raiser. If I had ace king, pocket aces, ace queen, ace jack, ace 9, 2 pair, I'd be coming out firing. Let's just fire right now. If they both fold, that's awesome. If they have a king, a queen, a jack, a 10, an 8, if they can even fold a 9 on this ace high board, that's great for my pocket 7s right now. So I'm totally happy just ending the hand. Open raise with a king 10 over here. We get a caller. Flop in the open ender. So you know what I'm going to do, right? On table 1, you have to come out and make a C-bet when you flop the open ender. Now, he checked. I bet 7 and he raised. This was once again because he had folded to C-bets in the past. This really is an easy fold. Look at right there, 3 out of 3. Folding to C-bets 3 out of 3 times. It's an ace-high flop. He check raises. This guy has a good hand, guaranteed. Easiest fold in the world at this point. And good, he folded versus my bluff. And you can see right now, 125 big blinds, 201. This session's been going pretty darn well. Yep, easy fold. Now I actually pulled this hand up 24 hours later once again. And if we see sevens, we open ace, deuce, flop in the 2 pair, c-bet, and then he raises me. Like I said, easiest fold in the world because I'm paying attention to his tendencies. That Smart HUD really helps out. Alrighty, now let's see. The last hand, table 1, king 8 offsuit. Short stack over here. Short stack often signifies fish. Totally fine open raising into a fish. But look at this. This player, looking loose, kind of passive right there, but he folds on turns. I got to double barrel at this point. Now, I'm not really necessarily getting an ace to fold right now, but I am potentially getting any 2 diamonds to call, so I'm getting value from diamond draws. Any random jack or 10 that has a gut shot, those could. I'm also getting value from a queen that just doesn't want to believe that I have an ace or a king. They just want to stick around for one more street. Maybe queen 10, queen jack even. Great hands for him to stick around. And by making this double barrel, I'm getting value from those weaker hands, but I'm also potentially just buying showdown. Whatever that card, if I don't like it, he checks, I just check back with my second pair. Showdown, worthy hand. And at this point, I don't think I'm getting value out of much, and he just had the 6-7 busted flush draw right there. So yeah, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. Now, I highly recommend, this is game tape that I record as I'm playing. If you haven't done this for yourself, if you use Windows or if you use Apple computers, either way, there's built-in software for you that you can use to record your gameplay. Go ahead, hit record, get a microphone, start speaking into it, speak through your logic of your decisions, because I find that truly speaking through my plays really helps to improve my reads and improve my exploits against my opponents. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.